Welcome to the world of Neoclassical art.
Hi, I am Shanley Sicat.
And I am Irish Deleon, your tour guide for today. Are you ready to open up your mind and reminisce the beauty of Neoclassical art?
Did you know that Neoclassical art is also called as Neoclassicism and Classicism, and it is a widespread of influential movement in painting and other visual arts that began in the 1760s, reached its height in the 1780s and 90s, and it lasted until the 1840s and 50s. Neoclassicism adopted the hierarchy of painting, which included subjects from the Bible, classical mythology, and history, and it was ranked as the top category, followed by portraiture, genre painting, landscapes, and still lifes. It brought about a general revival in classical thought that mirrored what was going on in political and social arenas of that time, leading to the French Revolution. Moreover, Neoclassicism arose as artists and architects infused their work with past Greco-Roman ideals.
Here are some of the famous artists in Neoclassical period that will be highlighted in our fun and exciting adventure. The first one is Johann Zuffeny, followed by Angelica Kauffmann, Joseph Marie Vienne, and Alexander Ivanov that will be discussed in our exhibition.
Johann Zuffeny is known primarily as a painter of portraits, conversation pieces, and theatrical subjects, and he was born in Johannes Josephus Zoffany in Frankfurt-am Main, Germany, and he is the son of an architect and a court cabinet maker. He was brought up at the court of Alexander Ferdinand, Prince von Thom and Taxis, and he enjoyed court patronage throughout his career. So meaning, hindi muna siya agad naging painter, but he is a lawyer. However, when he arrived in England around 1760, hindered in part by his poor English, initially was obliged to take work for the clockmaker. Dito yung clockmaker na gumagawa ng clock, however, it is the painting scenes for clock faces. And his painting career continued in the studio of Benjamin Wilson, a minor portraitist, as a drapery painter. He also painted the 4 conversation pieces of the Garrick household in 1762, and later on he caught the attention of Queen Charlotte, who became his patron. One of his work is Colonel Morden Cockmatch, which is this dynamic painting teeming with animated figures shows a cockfight involving birds belonging to Asaf Ut-Dowlah, the Nawab Wazir or governor of Awad, and Colonel John Morden, an employee of Britain East India Company. Here in the Philippines, this cockfighting is also known as sabong. However, the painting was created in India when Britain was taking a growing commercial and military interest in the region, wherein he considered it as a form of history painting, an ambitious narrative image commemorating an important event, and not just an observational scene. He emphasizes that this is a historical picture, not just a leisure activity. However, it involves the highest ranking position of the governor and Britain East India Company. The Tribuna of the Uffizi in 1772-1777, Tribune and Tribuna in Italian, is a semicircular dome end of Basilican Church, and the Tribuna is the hexagonal dome room created in 1585 and 1589 by Bernardo Bontalei at the Uffizi Palace for the display of the masterpieces in the Medici collection. The Tribuna was presented in this period as Europe's most precious wonderkammer, or the cabinet of curiosities, where it involves the collection of notable objects, with the profusion of painting, sculpture, pietra dura, and decorative arts, set against the already richly decorated surfaces of floors, walls, and vault. Pietra dura is known as the art of carving stones. There are 2 areas in which Zoffany has distorted and reinterpreted reality. He has adjusted the perspective of the interior, and he has taken liberties with the paintings he has chosen to include, often introducing works from the Pitti Palace.
Angelica Kauffmann was a great neoclassical artist from Switzerland. She rose to prominence as one of the most successful artists of 18th century Europe through her portraits and history of paintings. Angelica Kauffmann was born into an artistic family with a father who was a painter and a mother who was a musician. Kauffmann was very talented in both fields. One of her contemporaries called her possibly the most cultivated woman in Europe. And also, Angelica Kauffmann specialized in the prestigious genre of history painting. In addition to her great history paintings, Kauffmann was also a very successful portrait painter who was always in high demand for commissions. She was popular among the English nobility and other British luminaries. So, in my opinion, her most interesting portraits are those depicting female sitters as personification of mythological figures. And did you know that Kauffmann also painted many self-portraits, often representing herself as various allegorical figures? So let's now proceed in one of the paintings of Angelica Kauffmann. So this tableau tells the story of Zixus, who combines the best features of 5 other models to portray the world's most beautiful woman, Helen of Troy. Zixus, the artist, is inspecting one of the models while 3 others prepare for the master's scrutiny. So the real interest of this painting, however, lies with the 5th model, who interestingly has Kauffmann's features. So as you can see in this painting entitled Zixus selecting model for his painting of Helen of Troy, wherein the neoclassicists use this image to illustrate the superiority of art over nature. So overall, the painting is an affirmation of Kauffmann's artistic beliefs as well as manifesto painting in terms of her own views on the talents and capabilities of women as artists. So in Zixus selecting models for his painting of Helen of Troy, Kauffmann not only confirms her allegiance to neoclassicism, but also associates herself with a classical female ancestor and as such insert herself into the revealing lineage of time. So the next neoclassical art by Angelica Kauffmann entitled Self-Portrait of the Artist, hesitating between the arts of music and painting. So here, after Kauffmann returned to Rome, he painted this vibrant and revealing self-portrait for Princess Holstein Beck of Russia as a commission. So the image clearly depicts the 2 distinct career options available to Kauffmann during her carefree youth, wherein painting on the one hand and music on the other hand.
Vian Joseph Marie. He is a French painter, a winner of the Prix de Rome, and he was in Rome at the time of 1743 to 1750 that coincided with the excavation at Herculaneum and Pompeii, and in his lifetime, he gained a great reputation, partly self-promoted because of his painting career, as a pioneer of neoclassical style. He was enthusiastic for the ideas of Winkelmann. Winkelmann is a German art historian and archaeologist, but his classicism was a very superficial kind, consisting of prim and sentimentalized anecdote or allegory with pseudo-antique trappings, which is the Cupid's Ladder or Chateau de Fontainebleau in 1763. Nevertheless, he gauged the taste of the time well and had a career of exemplary success, becoming director of the French Academy in Rome, 1776, and first painter to the king, 1789, and he was made a senator by Napoleon after the Revolution, a count in 1808, and was buried in Fenton. David was his most important pupil. His son, Joseph Marie the Younger, was also a painter, mainly of portraits. Let's now continue with his artworks, which is Sweet Melancholy. The chair, brazier, table, and the setting all show Vian's interest in bringing archaeological accuracy to a new level of precision. Yet his delicate handling and graceful palette derive squarely from 18th century French painting. The gesture of the melancholic figure with her head on her hand has roots going back to the Renaissance. Nonetheless, the painting has a wistful rather than a tragic tone. Indeed, images of women and inferiors contemplating a letter with longing or sadness derived from earlier Dutch paintings of daily life here transformed into an ancient context. Melancholy is defined as a disease supposed to proceed from a redundancy of black bile but it is better known to arise from too heavy and too viscid blood. Its cure is in evacuation, nervous medicine, and powerful stimuli. It is characterized as a deep emotional sadness. Melancholy was considered a real disease that could be treated. It affected a variety of people, but mostly women. Venus wounded by Diomedes is saved by Iris is also an artwork of Vian Joseph Marie. This beautiful painting is located in the European art section of museum and boasts a width and height of about 81.75 inches by 63.75 inches. It is an exquisite oil on canvas painting with a very intricate, ornate, and thick golden frame that is depicting a scene from a Roman mythology. This analysis will focus on the formal as well as interpreted content of this artwork with its historical, cultural, political, and religious. As you can see, in this painting, they have different textures can be seen, such as soft clouds, shiny quality of the silk garments, and the hard, shiny metals in the helmet and armor of Mars. There's so much detail in the hairs of the characters, the horseman's, and the feathers on Mars' helmet and his armor. However, the color in the background are strong but rough or blurry, while the foreground colors contain spectacular reds, whites, and golds.
So, are you having fun in our exhibition? Well, let's now proceed to our last artist named Alexander Andreevich Ivanov. Was a Russian painter who followed the fading tradition of Neoclassicism but found little sympathy among his contemporaries. He was born in St. Petersburg and died there. He was dubbed the master of one work because it took him 20 years to complete his magnum opus, The Appearance of Christ Before the People. Alexander Andreevich was born to an art professor, Andrei Ivanov. Age 11, he entered the Imperial Academy of Arts and studied at his father's course. For his good achievements, he was awarded with 2 silver medals. In 1824, he received a gold medal for the painting. In 1827, he was honored with the big gold medal of the Imperial Academy of Arts. Ivanov spent 20 years in Rome working on his greatest masterpiece, which is The Appearance of Christ Before the People. Ivanov died on cholera on July 3, 1858. So one of the painting of Alexander is the Christ's appearance to Mary Magdalene after the resurrection, wherein Alexander painted Christ's appearance to Mary Magdalene after the resurrection in Italy as a progress report to his sponsors, the Society for the Encouragement of Artists in St. Petersburg. The theme of the painting is a scene taken from the New Testament, Noli Me Tangere, and thus the appearance of the resurrected Mary Magdalene. So this meeting has been the subject of artistic performances since the early Middle Ages, both in sculpture and in painting. Ivanov presented Christ in motion. Indeed, the entire figure of the risen one seems to say, "Do not stop me," dressed in a slightly thrown shoulder of himation. He raises his right hand over the figure of Magdalene. Jesus has bare feet that shows nails. The right side of the Savior is also marked by the Roman spear. Maria Magdalena is dressed in red. A white scarf is around the neck. He has sandals on his feet. Her attitude is full of tension. She has both hands drawn towards the person she has previously taken as a gardener. The scene takes place in the garden at dawn. The background of the figure is dark. It turns into total blackness, which highlights the glows that emanates from the person of the living Christ. So that's it for our today's exhibition about neoclassical art. But before we end this, we just want to share these meaningful quotes of Gustav Klimt. Art is a line around your thoughts, wherein it simply means that it is a creative invitation. And it's a new season, so summer trends are emerging, and patterns are hot. If art imitates history, or if history imitates art, patterns make sense in the current climate, where there is no pattern, no line around the leader's thought, no rhyme or reason, no leadership, no vision. Thank you so much.